Okay guys, so here I have a simple React application. So let me run that application. This application is already have created, so I'm using a command called npm serve to run the application. npm start. Oh my god, I forgot. Okay, so by giving the command npm start, my application will run. It's a React application, and yeah, as you can see here, application is loading. Okay, fine. So this is the default page, as we all know. Okay, so now I'm going to open the app.js, which is the default component. So I'm removing all these things. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to convert a HTML web page into the React application. Okay, so meanwhile I will open the HTML application also, which I have downloaded already. Okay, so as you can see here, this is a simple website which is already developed in HTML and CSS. So it has, in the left side it has some menu. Maybe we will redesign the website with later point of time. But this is a simple menu, and this is a content which I am having here, and we are going to convert this website into the React application. Okay, so this is the files of the template. Okay, so now let me open the project and I will create the three different pages, because as you can see here, this website has three different menu. So I am going to create a three different pages here, so which are all these things are going to be a functional only. So home.js. So as we know, the component name should be in the first letter caps here, and then we are having a contact, and then we are going to have a about. Okay, so now I am going to create a functional component. Fun. Okay, so return, and it is a normal function here, so we can return. Yeah, so the same thing, but here we need to export this one. Okay, so now the same, similarly we will create component for other tools as well. Other contact ACT home also we can do it. Okay, so now the basic steps are completed, which means creating the component, but one more steps is also there, which means we need to create a some common header, or we can say menu. Okay, so this menu is going to be the left side menu, so I can mention as common thing as menu. As a simple website, it's I'm mentioning a menu, but in the real-time application we should provide the appropriate name for each and every pages. Fine. Okay, so meanwhile now I am going to open the template which we have done in the HTML and CSS. As you can see here, this is the template. Okay, so this is the menu which we are having here, so just to copy this one and I will paste it inside the menu.js. Fine, so now the menu is completed. Next one is about the go to the template which we are having here, and in this template, as you can see here, this is the entire content for the one. So here we can have a header, and this is the portion where it has to load the entire content, and we are having a footer also. This footer is also a common thing, so I can copy this one and I can create a one more footer also here, so which is called footer.js. Okay, so in this footer also, so return, and I will paste it here. Okay, and export default. Okay, fine. So this footer also we need to include in all the component. Okay, let it be. So first we will check whether everything is working fine or not, but before that, as you can see here, we need to include the CSS, because the CSS is important to load the style in our application, which is the default CSS of this application. So if you go to the template folder, here we are having a CSS. Okay, copy this file and go to our application, and there is a folder called public. Okay, so in this public I can directly paste our file. Otherwise we can create one more folder. In that folder also we can paste our files. Okay, so but as it is a small project, directly I am pasting the file instead of creating the new folder and all. Fine. So now we have added the CSS file, but this is not enough. We need to do one more steps as well, which means this CSS file we need to add it to our project. Okay, so to do that, there is a file called index.html. So in this index.html, so we can add it our CSS. so public URL which points to the public folder. Here we can mention style.css. Yeah, this is the file name, right? Yeah, so style.css is the file name which is in the public folder. So the same URL we have provided here also. Fine. So now I think everything is fine. Let me close this one. So the basic configuration is completed, but still we need to have the routing configuration and all these things. So as we all know, this app.js is the basic one, the main one. So here I can directly mention the home file, but we need to import. Okay, as you can see here, now our home is getting loaded here. So now I need to import the home in our app.js. Then we need to mention the, we need to include the home with the name. And in the right side, you can see the home component, which is the same which we have created already. Okay. So if you refresh it, as you can see here, my home component is loaded in the main web page. Okay, fine. So, but however, this is not the case. We need to include our index HTML, right? So for that, what we need to do, we need to first go to the menu file. This menu we need to import into our application. This is first step. Okay, let me do it here. And this one. Okay, so once we have done this thing, let me go to here, and here I need to import the menu here. Oh my god, once again, so menu from menu. Okay, so the menu is getting loaded here. Fine. But if you look at this template, it has the container. Then in the container only everything is available. But still we need to optimize the code. But as of now, to see the output, we can use directly. Okay. So this one and this one. Fine. Okay. So, and as you can see here, this container is the main one which hold the entire application. So I am mentioning the div here, and this is the actual content as you can see here. So let me copy this one, and this has to come under the div. This is, as we know, React will not have this type of comments, so we need to remove it. And as you can see here, this is fine, not loaded. Yeah, that's because we need to mention the style sheet. Okay, yeah, so now as you can see here, it is loaded. Yeah, now we can see the proper website which looks like the previous template. Okay, so this content is not needed. I think this is coming from which I have added here. This I have removed it. Okay, so now we are having a simple website under this one, but whenever I am clicking this link, it has to navigate to the appropriate component. Okay, so I think the menu component, if you go to the menu.js, we are having this component. Like here I can mention home, I can mention about, I can mention contact, save it. So if you just hover it, as you can see here in the left side bottom, home, about, contact, all these things are available. So now whenever I'm clicking on this link, it navigates to the appropriate page. Okay, so let me save it, and fine. So here let me close everything. Okay, but as we all know, in order to have the router navigation, we need to include the component library called router navigate, that I will install it in our application. Okay guys, so now I have installed the library which is called routing library, and the command is just like simple npm install react router DOM. Okay, so using this library only we are going to implement the navigation. Okay, so once we done the navigation, go to our app.js, which is the main component. So here we need to import this one which is called react router DOM, and here we can create this configuration. Okay, so this configuration I grab it from the, you can see here. So here we need to mention for which URL which component has to load. So I am mentioning home, it has to load the home component, and other two components I am mentioning, and then we need to mention all these things into the router provider with the router configuration which we have created. Okay, so once we have done these things, if we go to our application, here we are having the application. So in the URL I have provided the home. In case if I didn't provide, it will not load anything. So by providing the localhost port number /home means it loads the home page. And as you can see here, this is the home page content, and next one is about, it loads the about page. Contact means it loads the contact page here. Okay, so this is how we can easily create our HTML template into the React application, or we can say the React template integration. Okay, thank you.